And online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Me and my I Do crew have 50 years experience, and we have more certified diamonds in stock at the best prices in town. So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, come see me, your diamond girl, and my I Do crew at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, because we don't work on commissions. We work for smiles and I Do's.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Join Kitchen Designs at the BBIA Great American Home and Recreation Expo, April 5th and 6th from 9 to 5 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. For full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, come see them at the Home Show or visit their 2 convenient showrooms, 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Come see it all at the Home Show, April 5th and 6th. They can't wait to meet you.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
WPLQ Port St. Joe. WGSX Lynn. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Tuesday morning. This might as well just be our new intro song. You know, we got to mix it up every once in a while.
Yes.
We kind of cover all genres here, but you are listening to The Inside Drive. It is Tuesday. Maybe some rain in the forecast later today. We shall see. Kind of a front line going across the entire southern to northern part of the United States of America. But hopefully we'll just get a little bit of drizzle here later in the day and it fizzles out so nothing crazy has happened. But you are tuned in. You're listening live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. As always, if you want to watch us and listen, you can go on Facebook, X, or YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. And then you can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one, you just got to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also follow us on TikTok until it gets banned, Inside.Drive. Lots of fun content clips we share from the show. A lot of stuff mainly that Jay does that keeps us on our toes, and that's kind of the beauty of TikTok and social media. But Jay, how are you today?
I am doing great. I feel like I'm in 1987 right now, looking across the table from you. Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, all those.
All the above.
All of those are just coming back.
It's funny how everything came full circle. If you go to a travel baseball tournament nowadays, pretty much every kid looks very similar to how I look right now.
That is very true.
It's weird. Things come in cycles.
You're rocking it, man.
Hey,
you're rocking it.
Beth said, I'm getting you a wig. I said, okay, here we are.
Yes.
Embrace it.
Yes, sir.
Embrace it.
It looks good.
It feels good. It's a little warm.
Is it?
But I think it fits the head good.
I got you.
It's tough because I don't wear hats. So, I mean, I do occasionally, but the wig seems to make more sense.
Joe Dirt is what?
Which is ironically one of Beth's favorite movies.
Such a good
So maybe she's just trying to turn me into David Spade. I don't know. Because his was a wig too, right? That was glued on as a kid?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah? Or like it was part of his like skull or something
It
like
was.
that.
Yeah.
They need to make a Joe Dirt too.
There is one.
There is one.
I want to say there is.
Man, maybe it must not be very good. No. Maybe they don't need to make a Jordan, make another Joe Dirt. I don't know.
Have you seen the new Roadhouse?
I have not, but everybody's been talking about it.
They have been talking about it.
Have you seen it? No?
I haven't. But
are you going to?
I mean, without Patrick Swayze, there's no way this could be any good. I'm just going to say that.
That's true.
He is the Roadhouse of Roadhouses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't watch movies. I just read reviews. No.
It's like the cliff notes of stuff. Was it good? Was it not? I don't know.
Right.
But that's kind of the consensus that I got from the it was a good movie, but it just doesn't compare to the first one. So,
which is the same song and dance you hear for so many movies.
It is.
And this was one where they waited a long time in between too, like they did with Top Gun, like they're doing with Happy Gilmore. And sometimes that seems to pay off more than trying to release something fairly new. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good one too. What about Cocktail with Tom Cruise?
But one of my favorite. I mean, that's a top five. That's such a
top five out of all movies of all time.
Yeah.
Cocktail.
Yes.
With Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack too.
That is a good one.
That's your heyday right there.
Yep.
Tom Cruise and Cocktail.
That's
Taking it back.
Is that a good one for you?
Yeah, it's good. It's not my top five. But
oh, I got you. Elizabeth Shue. I mean, she played such a great part in that.
Absolutely.
And that's every man's dream to go down to Jamaica and be a bartender and just hang out.
There you go.
That's every man's dream.
Hey, you can still dream if you want.
That's right.
They need golf instruction down there too.
Sure.
Lots of good courses.
Jamaica Mon.
Jamaica Mon, indeed. You know we haven't done in a while, Jay Henley?
What's that?
A poll question.
Oh,
I keep forgetting. I'm going to do a serious sports poll question today because I'm going to tie it into what we're going to talk a little bit about today later on, and that's all these the owners' meetings are going on right now. The NFL league year has started. The head coaches, GMs, all that stuff, they're voting, and there's been several new rule changes, including the official rule change on the kickoffs was voted a yes this morning. So we're going to dive into that later. So my poll question is going to be, all these rule changes, people talking about the NFL getting too soft, blah, 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 will that actually change your viewership to the NFL? What do you think?
What? Say that again.
They've got these new rule changes, right? We'll talk about them more in depth. But you got the swivel hip drop tackle being banned. There's now a new thing. If you get one out of your first two challenges correctly, you get an additional challenge. They just completely changed the kickoff rule. They're also changing this one. I think some of them are good, but this one they're moving the trade deadline after week 8. Now it's after week 9, so one more week before the trade deadline there. So the NFL, the kickoff and the hip drop tackle are probably the two biggest controversial ones right now. But does that, we'll dive into more in depth in a little bit, but does that change your opinion on if you're going to watch NFL games or not?
Yeah. I mean,
we know you don't watch a whole lot of NFL games, so
too much red tape, man. Just let them play ball.
Yeah,
and
that's what a lot of defensive players are saying too. Like, when are we just pulling out the flags?
At some point, there's going to be like some new position open in the NFL, like some policies and procedures head coach or something. Like, I mean, there's too much. Oh, they do? Oh,
yeah. They have a lot of staff that know. Some of the Niners players didn't know the overtime rules, but that's neither here nor there at this point. But
what do you think?
I think my point is that regardless of these changes and stuff like that, I don't think it changes anything as far as numbers for the NFL. Because the NFL is more than just the game on the field. It's the fantasy. It's the betting. It's all the things that come with it. So I think regardless of how much more they gear towards the game for being quote-unquote safer, but producing more offense, it's not going to affect the viewership. And until it does affect the viewership, they're going to keep pushing things and trying new things and doing all that. Because at the end of the day, that's what actually hurts their pockets. And until something hurts their pockets, I just don't see it, being that big of a deal. But I don't know. That's just me. So poll question for today. The new rule changes in the NFL, will they change you watching NFL versus not, compared to how you did in the year prior? Like, if you don't watch the NFL at all, then obviously this question isn't for you. But if you do watch NFL, whether it's a little bit or a ton, is it going to change your habits? That's kind of if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. It's Tuesday. You want to dive into that, or you want to wait just a couple minutes?
Dive into NFL?
No, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, let's wait a few more minutes.
Do you want to wait a few minutes?
Yeah, I have to, yeah.
Not ready?
I'm not ready.
I mean, we do it every Tuesday.
We do.
We didn't do it last Tuesday, though, because you weren't here.
That's right.
We did it on Wednesday, I think.
Yes.
I think we did. But yes. That's more like it. That's more like it. Do you want to give a quick shout out? The PC Padres yesterday got their first win of the season, going 1-1 after a 9-8 victory over the Callaway. I believe it was the Sluggers off the top of my head. But one thing I did want to say is one of the cool things is when you have kids that play sports and there's other people you know and your friends and they come to watch your kids play sports. I don't think there's anything more special than that. And both of you fine gentlemen have done that. David stopped by yesterday to watch a couple innings, and you've come to set flag football games. And then also the McDaniel family and their daughter Cotton came out to watch again.
Was that Howdy?
Yep, that was Howdy. That was Howdy.
Howdy, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I was thinking in my head when I was sitting beside you, I was like, man, that guy looks familiar, but I just need to start being totally extroverted and just start walking around and shaking. Hey, I'm David Hayes.
I could also say, hey, I didn't even think about it until you brought it up. But
I met him at one of the flag football practices or games that we had, and and I was like, man, he looks really familiar, but you know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Howdy, my bad, bro.
Yep, huge Alabama fan too.
Roll Tide.
Huge Alabama fans. I just think that's one of the cool things about sports, too, when you're doing it from the youth side of things, is when you have friends and, obviously family is one thing, but to have friends come and watch your kids play other sports, I just think that's a really, really cool thing. So appreciative of what you guys do and appreciative of all the people that support kids of their friends and their youth sports, because it's certainly a community and it's cool for the kids. I mean, we talk about it all the time with high school and all that. I mean, bleeding all the way down into youth sports is pretty cool, and it makes the kids feel special.
Sweet uniforms too, man. The pink and the green sleeves. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that is really awesome, because back in the day we were just excited if we got to wear MLB look-alike uniforms. Now kids are
the red T-shirt with the script with the line under it that just said Reds on it. Yeah.
Now they got City Connects out there. Yeah, those things were sharp. And kudos to Liam. It was really awesome, seeing Liam pitch and then Luke catching. Yep. It's like, hey, we're back on the football field, just a different shape here. But yeah, it was awesome. And I can only imagine how tough it was to pitch with the wind swirling the way that it was.
It was a little wild last night, that's for sure. And speaking of the wind, how did your second camp go this summer?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. We had 12 kids yesterday, and we kept it within 30 yards of the hole, just so we didn't let the wind kind of. Yeah. The wind was crazy.
Oh, it was nuts. It just didn't really like go up and down. It would gust a little bit, but it was just steady.
It was steady
constantly, and certainly still blowing out there today, but not quite as bad as it was yesterday. I'll still give you a couple minutes here, Jay, before we dive into your tip of the week. But it starts on Thursday.
Let's see.
Well, it doesn't start. It's technically, that does start on Thursday. Yeah. That's a good point. But it's already technically underway, but the rest of the league gets underway this Thursday. And I saw this come out of the Marlins social media, the Miami Marlins. I want to get your thoughts on it, Jay. The Marlins are now selling all-you-can-eat tickets, which include unlimited hot dogs and chili dogs, nachos, cheeseburgers, popcorn, peanuts, cookies, soda, and water.
Can I get the whole thing? Can I get everything?
That's what it is. It's all you can eat.
That's amazing.
It encompasses all those things. What do you think about that?
I love it.
Think it's a good idea?
Double cheeseburgers.
How much can you really eat, though, in the course of a 2.5-hour baseball game?
That's the thing.
To make it, and I don't know what these prices, like how much more the ticket is, or if it's just, a nice marketing thing that they're doing. But, we talk about ballpark pricing and stadium pricing and stuff like that. And we've highlighted the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and how affordable it is. But, I'm assuming that's, part of a ticket but, I mean, if you I'm assuming it's per ticket. But if it's not, I guess if you just keep going under that one ticket and you got other people that didn't buy that ticket, you could load up. But how many hot dogs you eating in a 2.5-hour, 2 hour and 45-minute baseball game?
Realistically, I could probably do 4. I mean,
with chili on them though.
Oh gosh, two with chili.
2 with the chili.
How about you?
I'm probably 2.
Yeah,
because I feel like if you push it. Because I want to eat the other stuff, too.
Right.
Like, legitimately, I could probably eat 4, But I just do like the hot dog and the onions, and that's it. I don't have any sauce. I don't have any of that stuff, so there's not a whole lot to it.
Are you talking about the Marlins here?
Yeah.
$52 is where those tickets start at.
Woo! That's a heck of a deal.
Jay's like, I'm about to drive to Miami, man.
I'll spend $100 in gas just to go eat.
I think there's two people in this world. There's one person that lives to eat, and there's one person that eats to live. I'm the person that eats to live.
Okay.
Like, you know,
which is one of the fundamental things: food, water, shelter, and something else.
Right. Yeah. You don't see me at the Golden Corral. I don't get my money's worth. I just don't.
Yeah. That is true. Buffets, it's a fine line.
It is.
It's a fine line, whether it's more bang for you. Because this always happens to me at buffets. Is I go in, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to eat a bunch of stuff. And then you have your first plate, and you're like, I'm full. It's kind of like the all-you-can-eat pancake thing. That's just a scam. But I mean, I think
fundraisers, you've been exposed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all-you-can-eat pancakes. Show me somebody who can eat more than 10 of these size pancakes in an hour. Could be a big fella.
Could very.
Like I said, live to eat to live.
That's it.
That's another good Jay-ism that you had to the show today.
Yeah.
All right, we're kicking this down too far. You going to dive into your tip of the week?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Jay's Golf Tip of the Week.
All right. So your trail
Say
hand.
rhythm and balance, I'm going to kill you.
All right, so trail hand, which means your right hand if you're a right-handed golfer.
Left-handed if I'm a left-handed golfer.
Yeah. All right, so your trail hand. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to kind of like hinge your wrist like a door's closing, like a door, right?
So my wrist is the hinge on the door.
Yeah.
Not my arm.
That's right.
Got it.
So when you hinge it back, do you see the wrinkles on the back of your wrist? Do you have wrinkles? Yes, there you go. Now that's where your power is stored in the golf swing.
Is it?
If you come back down and your wrinkles are gone, you've released that right hand and you can't hit it very far. So if you're wanting to gain some distance, hold that right hand, in that hinge position, and just hit it.
Let it ride.
Bomb it.
Let it ride.
Let it ride.
But don't do it too early.
No, if you do it too early, if you close that door too early,
just smother it.
You're just going to smother it. You won't hit
like
it.
a Waffle House hash brown.
That's right. Ooh, man, that sounds good.
We drove right past it this morning.
Yes, we did.
But you don't want to release it too late either.
No, or is that? I guess that's true, because if you just hold it and you release it a little late, it really shouldn't affect because that's more path, right? When your ball's going left to right significantly or right to left significantly, that's a path-driven thing. Right. Obviously, the face matters too with where it's starting, but yeah, that's a good point. Like I remember getting those spankings when I was a kid, right? Mom or dad's like, bend over the bed, I'm going to spank you, right?
Wanda's listening.
Yeah. And so
I hope so.
When you go to that spanking motion, right, and then you release that hand, you don't get a lot of power on that rear end, right? But if you smack, you know what I'm saying? Like you hold it and then wait for that last second, then you create that power. And yeah, I remember getting spankings when I was a kid, a lot of spankings, and mom's probably texting right now going, oh yeah.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. Hey, spare the rod, ruin your golf swing.
That's true. That is true.
That's right.
Yes, Cliff said, otherwise known as early casting. Which we've talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
A little different there, because that's, and it's tough, because your power is all stored up, and then you got to release it all in one motion.
That's right.
Tough stuff.
That is.
Good tip of the week. I like it. I like it. And if they want to expand more on that tip of the week, what can they do to come see you?
Golfwithjay.com.
.com. No, that's good. It's like you should have a shirt for that. You got a new shirt order yet?
They're still on back order.
God,
I know.
They've been on back order for a while. I feel like they've been on back order since we started this radio show.
China.
Hey, I bet we could find somebody to slap their logo on the back of that shirt so you could have it on your shirt too, and have that go. If anybody's out there that wants to help Jay sponsor some shirts to give out to his people and the masses, give us a call or give Jay a call, or just go to golfwithjay.com and book a lesson. You can talk about it while working on your golf game.
I do have free ball markers I'm giving out.
Ooh.
There you go.
There you go.
So, come see me and get a few free ball markers.
Yep.
They're poker chips. They don't work in Ebro. I've already tried them, and it doesn't work in
I don't
Ebro.
know. Worked for me. I just put like a little $5 thing on there, and they're like, all right, here you go.
He's in. He's in. He's got the small blind covered. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the ladies basketball yesterday? I actually watched a little bit of those games last night. That's why I was texting late. The Juju, I forget her last name, the 18-year-old freshman Watkins from USC. She is fun to watch. And there's a lot of superstars. It seemed like, I don't know if it seems like more than ever. I think there's just a lot more attention than ever, which is great for the sport. But watching her play, she was feisty, but she didn't have that like sass. She was a little bit more humble than some of the other girls. And of course, I don't know if you saw Caitlin Clark broke another record last night.
No
Jay.
way.
She did. She broke the single season scoring record for women's basketball. She passed Kelsey Plum with her, I think she shot it again on a free throw last night that put her over the hump. So she continues to do some amazing things as Iowa has now advanced to the Sweet 16. And your Sweet 16 is now set on both the men's and women's bracket. The men's Sweet 16 round will get started on this Thursday. Women's will get started on Friday. And that coverage will be right here on ESPN Northwest Florida starting at 6 p.m. That'll get kicked off on the men's side with Clemson in Arizona, San Diego State and Connecticut, which I know a lot of people are excited for that one. It's a rematch of last year's national championship. Alabama versus North Carolina, Illinois versus Iowa State. Those are your first 4 Sweet 16 games on Thursday. The next ones will be there on Friday. Like I said, the ladies get underway on Friday when it comes to the Sweet 16. But you've got Iowa will be taking on number 5 Colorado coming out of the Albany bracket, and then you've got South Carolina over Indiana. Does South Carolina lose, or are they gonna win it this year? They haven't lost a game in a long time since the national championship last year.
Is this women's basketball?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They go.
They go all the way?
The Gamecocks do it.
They do it.
Yeah.
Undefeated season. Perfect season.
Perfect.
National champions.
Yes.
Will LSU get in their way? Who knows? LSU will be taking on UCLA. That's a 3 seed versus number 2 seed UCLA. That one will be on Saturday. And then you've got Oregon State, your favorite school there, Jay Henley, besides the Georgia Bulldogs. They're taking up number 2 seed Notre Dame. And then coming out of the Portland side, you got Southern Cal versus Baylor. You've got UConn versus Duke, NC State versus Stanford, and last but not least, Texas versus Gonzaga. Here's what I think for the national championship. You heard it here first. USC versus USC. And guess who wins?
USC.
Bingo. Don't know which one, but they're going to make that happen. So a lot of exciting games last night. Just a lot of fun. Actually, I bet on a couple games and have had more success on the women's side than the men's side.
There you go.
Seemed like it was a little more predictable yesterday. Those two-game parlays seem to be the ones, and if you want to bet with it, the spread, it worked out. They took Gonzaga and USC last night, and USC pulled away, and Gonzaga pulled away a little bit there at the end, so that was fun.
Cool.
But coming up in the next segment, it's Tuesday, so that means one thing, Jay. Who do we got coming on the line?
Is it Brad Law?
No.
Oh, Doc A.
Doc A. We have Brad Law coming up at 12:20, and I cannot wait to hear about Doc A's 30-deep fantasy football league to see if he is advanced to the championship or not. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Sweet 16.
Garcia for 3. Got it!
March Madness continues Thursday night. Clemson versus Arizona. San Diego State versus UConn. Plus Alabama versus North Carolina. And Illinois versus Ohio State. Coverage starts at 6 on your exclusive home for March Madness on the Gulf. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Possible thunderstorms and moderate rain this afternoon and evening with a moderate breeze around 17 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast, and look for the high to be 71. Tonight, there will be light rain and possible thunderstorms with the temperature reaching 64. A chance of thunderstorms and very heavy rain tomorrow with a high of 73. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Hartz Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent you.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
4. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to jump right into it. It's Tuesday, and that means one thing, Jay Henley. Who do we have on the line?
Doc A.
And you weren't with us last week, so you didn't get to learn about this intense fantasy league he is in, and I can't wait to find out if he has made it to the finals in the 30 deep with all these other big-time writers, fantasy guys, NBA hosts, all that stuff. Doc A, how are you today?
Well, I'm in the finals of 30.
Yes. We've been pulling for you all week. I've been trying to follow along on Twitter, and sounded like you got off to an early big start and kind of fought off a little bit of a comeback there towards the end.
Yeah, I had a good week. I had I picked up Rashawn Holmes, who's the center for the Washington Wizards, somewhere along the way. He wasn't playing, he wasn't doing anything, and like this league, there's like every player in the NBA that plays is basically on a roster because it's set up like a regular NBA league with 30 teams and 12 players. But I picked up Rashawn Holmes, threw him on my bench, and then all of a sudden, like 3 weeks ago, he started playing for Washington. And the guy that I beat last week, my boss at ESPN, actually, one of my best buddies, Joe, he's like, man, you better name a kid or a dog or somebody Rashawn because that guy carried your whole team. So now it's me against Dan Vespris. I do podcasts with him. He works for a site called Sports Ethos. And this guy, he's got Drew Holiday stuck on his bench because he's hurt. But I have Wembanyama and Cam Thomas in my lineup, and they both sat out last night in game one of the week. So I've got a 6-3 lead, feeling pretty good. It's a 3-week matchup. Like, we play all week this week, all week next week, and then into the final week it goes all the way to the end of the season. So there's a long way to go. But if Wemby keeps playing, I don't think he's going to be able to beat me.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. That's cool. So 3 full weeks of games for the final in this 30 deep league. That's pretty intense and pretty exciting.
Yeah, my record in this league is 200, 150, and 10. That's just on this season. So you played 2 games a week, and they count each category that you win as a win. So I won last week 7-2 against Joe, and I'm up 6-3 right now. But I have had a lot more games played than Dan, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, long way to go.
Doc, is there a prize at the end, or is this just bragging rights, or what's the deal?
There is no prize.
Okay.
And I cannot tell you how much I care about this league. Like I'm in a league that I paid $50 to get into, and it's an industry league with a bunch of experts and stuff. I didn't even realize I'd made the playoffs till last night, and in that one probably pays like $500 or whatever to the winner, and I don't even care about that league. I want to win 30 deep because it's the one that has everybody in it. We all know about it, and it's so hard to win. And I won it in 2011, and the only reason I won it in 2011 was because I picked up Jeremy Linsanity literally the day before he got signed by the Knicks and went crazy, and he carried me all the way to the title.
Nice. So how long have you been doing the 30 deep league?
I started it. I think my buddy and me at Roto World started it I don't know, I won it in 2011, so that's at least, 13 years? And then I think probably started in 2005, 2006.
Has anybody ever won it more than once?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I could dig into that, but I don't have a lot of that here. But I think a couple guys have won it twice. Yeah, Hall of Fame 2-time champion, Matt Straub. There it is.
There it is. So you could tie that.
That is my co-host, my podcast co-host from Roto World, me and Matt Straub.
There you go.
He won in 2013 and 2018. I won in 2011. It started in 2007.
Wow, man, going on
and Joe,
14.
Joe, the guy I beat last week at ESPN, he won it in 2008, which I was unaware of.
Ah, man, this is like the pinnacle of NBA expert fantasy league.
It really is. It's crazy. It's a crazy league.
It sounds like we need to do a documentary on it, to be honest.
Well, ESPN's putting together a 30-30 on it. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it would make perfect sense for them to do it. We need to make this happen. That's for sure.
I was going to ask you. I've seen some articles out there where you kind of have a riser and a faller. Do you have anybody like particularly this month in the NBA that's like rising above and beyond, and somebody that's just kind of fallen off, maybe on the Hall of Shame this month?
Well, I guess Dante DiVincenzo had 40 points last night and 11 three-pointers. Grayson Allen is in that column. He's in that column that I do for ESPN almost every week because he just keeps getting better and better. And, like, nobody who plays fantasy basketball thought that Grayson Allen was going to be a key member of fantasy teams this season because he plays for a crowded Suns team that has Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, who got hurt again last night. But Grayson Allen has had an awesome season. And Dante DiVincenzo, who's over there in New York, like he's had a really good season too. And nobody expected that to really happen. And another guy that's been really, really good, Jrue Holiday, went down for the Celtics, and Peyton Pritchard, just an average backup point guard, has been playing at a super high level for Boston. And this is what we call, in fantasy terms, this is the NBA silly season because a lot of teams are resting their guys, getting ready for the playoffs, like Boston and Denver's not going to play their full team again this year probably because they want everybody ready to go for the playoffs. But then you have teams like Portland and Charlotte and Detroit where they're just pulling names out of a hat and throwing them in the starting lineup. And you can find some really incredible value out there. Like it's a fun time of year, and it's also a really frustrating time of year when you've got Wemby and Cam Thomas sitting there not playing for you.
Yeah, that's got to be tough for sure. Speaking of Boston, obviously still one of the favorites to win the NBA title, and every once in a while seem to have a tough loss. But last night was pretty incredible. That Atlanta Hawks, Jay, your Atlanta Hawks. Yeah. That was their first 30-point comeback in the last 25 years. They were up pretty significantly. I think it was 68-38, and then Atlanta came roaring back. But that's the first 30-point lead also blown by Boston in the last 25 years, and teams trailing by 30 points since 1997 and 1998 have won 6 games and lost 2,608. That's their combined win-loss record from being down that behind. Is that something to worry about for Boston, or is that more they're resting their guys and you're going to have to beat Boston 4 games in a series, and that just looks pretty tough?
I just did a podcast, and I was trying to make the old, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody was there to see it, that it really didn't make a sound or whatever. And I was like, if the Hawks come back from 30 against Boston, does anyone even, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Derek White wasn't playing. Jrue Holiday wasn't playing. Now, the Celtics had their guys out there. Jason Tatum scored 37. Jaylen Brown had 24, my guy. Pritchard had 15, 5, and 6. Like, guys are out there playing and doing stuff, but I didn't watch that game. I'm a little secret. I did not watch any basketball last night. I was just chilling out, watching some Below Deck with my wife, which is weird. But sometimes you got to step away. And I was like, man, there's too much going on with this 30 deep team. I can't handle this. So I just checked out completely last night. And my buddy on the podcast, he goes, did you see that DeAndre Hunter shot at the end of the Hawks game? And I was like, no, I didn't see it. And I guess the Hawks were up.
Yeah, they could have just killed the clock, and he buried a three.
They could have killed the clock, and he said, YOLO, you only live once, and fired up a three-pointer, DeAndre Hunter did, and daggered the game. And, I mean, it's the most Hawks thing ever. They're such a tough team to love, but they're our Hawks, I guess.
There you go. It
just is what it is. Just is what it is. They'll have another crappy draft pick and another mediocre year next year. So
just kind of on repeat. That's for sure. You're talking about the 30 deep fantasy league. You've got a lot going on. How did the bracket collection go for your huge NCAA March Madness pool that you do?
I have it right here in front of me. I've got 130 brackets.
Jay, all by paper, and you had to pay cash.
No way.
Yeah,
all by paper, all cash. I have a stack of $10 bills on my couch in my office. So whatever that is, that $1,300, and I've got this telephone book size stack of paper of these brackets to go through. And then night one, so I let Thursday and Friday happen, and then round one was over. So Friday morning, I think I started at 4:00 in the morning. I started grading brackets, and I got done between the bracket grading and the email that I send out to everybody to let them know where everybody stands. I think I was done at like 4 p.m. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
And then round two ended on Sunday night. I started that. I think I did that start at 4 a.m. and I finished that right around 9 a.m. So it was cut in half. It was only 5 hours. And the next one should only be 3, and then maybe 2, and then next year this thing's going online. I'm done.
It's official. You're officially moving it from the paper brackets to the online brackets. What are you going to do with all that free time?
I have to, man. And I love writing it up, and I love compiling it, but I don't even have time to make fun of the people I like to make fun of in it, because I got to get through so many brackets. Like half the people in it I don't even know, but it used to just be like 15 really good friends, and I would just bust everybody's chops like all the way through it. And that's what they all loved about it. But it's so big now, I don't even really have time to do that as much. And that's the whole fun of doing it by hand.
No, and you can still do the recap and all that and just have everything online. Obviously, everybody know where they stand, but you can still bust everybody's chops and have a little more time to do it.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
And you got a starter, for the winter, you got a good fire starter if you got a fireplace. So, I mean, it's perfect.
That is true.
I have a huge tag of paper, yeah.
that you can engulf in flames and get some logs lit. What's your take of the tournament so far? Obviously, there is a ton of upsets in the first round, and then only one underdog upset as far as Vegas was concerned there in the second round. But what are your thoughts on the tournament thus far?
Kansas losing knocked a bunch of people out. One Mrs. Wright's science class, who is one of my brackets, they did a little hand vote for each game. They had Drake winning it all.
Ooh,
that didn't end very well.
No, didn't pan out.
That was an early exit. The guy that turned in his bracket last, Clay, he has only missed 2 games.
Wow.
In the Sweet 16. He had Kansas and he had Grand Canyon. The rest of his bracket is flawless.
It's still intact.
In the Sweet 16, he's got Carolina beating Tennessee. His final 8's alive, 14 teams left. So that guy is rolling. I've got Carolina over Purdue. Purdue looks unbeatable right now, which tells me that Purdue is going to choke and do something really. They're going to mess up a lot of brackets.
Doc, I'll give you $100 if you can find Clay's bracket in the next 10 seconds.
I got it. It's right
on the top. Why would he not have it on the top? If it's the best bracket, it goes on top. You owe him $100.
He's got 55 points. I'm staring at it right now.
I got you.
Who does he got in the national championship?
He's got Carolina over Tennessee and with Duke and UConn in the Final Four.
Okay. That UConn pick is, we'll see.
He's got Purdue going down to Tennessee.
I could see that. Dalton Knecht catching some fire, and maybe they can slow down the big man down low and win that game. But yeah, I think
my lack of studying for the NCAA tournament hurt me too, because I did not realize that NC State was going to be this juggernaut. They're like reliving the Jim Valvano days. It feels like they wouldn't have even got in had they not won the tournament, and now they're like the most fun team to root for out here. Now that some of these other ones have gotten knocked off. But, man, that Kentucky loss was something else. And I don't know, man. I still love the NCAA tournament. It's so fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially if you don't have any skin in the game, as you used to say, besides your bracket bets. It's certainly entertaining, and there's been a lot of fun games, and it'll get kicked off underway again coming up this Thursday. I just want to get your opinion on this. Being the home of the Orlando Magic that we are now, I mean, they are just on an absolute tear. Now the 5th seed in the East, and just absolutely wild. They stood January 30th. They were 24-23, and now they're currently 42-28. They've only lost 5 games in that span. What do you attribute that just unbelievable turnaround by the Magic to?
I have no idea. I think it's really, really cool that you guys are the flagship station for the Orlando Magic now. Like, that's awesome. And, you know, Franz Wagner has been on my fallers list lately because he hasn't been playing that good. They have all these point guards, Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, Anthony Black. So there's like so many mouths to feed in their backcourt. I don't even know how they're doing that. And then you've got Wendell Carter Jr. and Mo Wagner holding things down in the middle. Jonathan Isaac, who we haven't really seen in 4 or 5 years, is playing like limited minutes and just contributing. So I guess the answer is Paolo Banchero, the former number 1 pick in the draft, is just a bad dude. and their coaching must be doing something right, because Orlando, with that roster, they should not be as good as they are. And they are holding it down. They're gelling at the right time. They're playing well together. And, you know, I was mentioning the Indiana Pacers are a team that I don't think teams in the East are going to necessarily be excited about matching up against in these playoffs, because they're really, really good and they're better than their record shows. And they're 2 games behind the Magic, and the Magic are doing the same thing. I mean, the Magic are 7-3 over the last 10. Like you said, they're just cruising right now.
Yep.
And they could be the Pacers and Magic could both really hurt somebody in the first round of these playoffs.
Yeah, a little bit. Reminds me a little bit of how the Heat were last year going in the playoffs. But I think it's attributed to, since they became part of our station here, that's where their success came from.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You guys breed success, and
winners only. Winners only.
Smell it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you can feel it right
through
the phone.
The waves.
Yep.
Right through the radio.
You're winning in the fantasy draft. I mean, winners only.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, except for my San Francisco 49ers. That's all. But we're going to change that next year. One more quick question before we got to let you go, Doc. Are the Warriors now going to miss the playoffs with the Houston Rockets ripping off 9 straight games and now only a half game back for that final play-in spot?
Dude, we were just talking about that on the podcast. Have you looked at Golden State's schedule?
Yeah, brutal.
It's all road games, and it's a lot against a lot of good teams. When I looked at the schedule, it's Tuesday, which is tonight, at Miami. Tomorrow, at your Orlando Magic. Friday and Sunday, they're playing Charlotte and San Antonio. But guess what? Charlotte and San Antonio can make their entire season meaningful by knocking the Warriors out of the playoffs. Yep. Like, they would love to do that. And then they got to play Dallas and Luka, and they're hot. And then Houston, this is the game of the year right here. At Houston, Thursday, April 4th, Golden State at Houston. Like, that could be the one that decides both of their seasons. And, you know, Houston is like thinking, we've got to catch them and keep them out of the playoffs and, you know, ruin Draymond Green's life for the next 3 months. And I'd be scared to death if I was if I was Golden State, because everybody is coming after them.
Yep. Yeah, that's certainly what it feels like. And I mean, it wasn't a couple short weeks ago that they had a pretty substantial lead for that 10th to 11th spot, but that has shrunk all the way down to one game. Doc, we appreciate your time as always. We'll still be pulling for you hard in the 30 deep. Anxious to see how that update goes next week, and enjoy some March Madness later on.
All right, you guys, have a good one.
Absolutely. It's Doc A. He's a former writer there for Roto World, and he is now currently writing for ESPN and RotoWire when it comes to all things fantasy basketball. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking you on the ultimate road trip to see the Orlando Magic. It's the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express. We're taking a busload of ESPN listeners and driving them to see the Orlando Magic play the Chicago Bulls Sunday, April 7th. You'll watch all the action from a presidential suite. For your chance to win, open the ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Enter Contest. Sponsored by Holland Hearts and PCB Hobby.
Hello, Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Hey, it's March Madness out there, and Stormore's got March Madness going on with a 10% discount through the month of March for both new buildings on the lot as well as built buildings. And I want to remind you, perfect time to get that pool house or that quilting room. Come see me, Rick, at RV of Panama City, the local Stormore portable building dealer, 2241 East Baldwin Road.
Ready to save big on the #1 selling car brand in the world? It's Ready, Set, Go time at Panama City Toyota, where you'll get 2.99% APR plus 90 days until you make your first payment on a new Camry. Get 2.99% on the sporty Corolla, ready for 2.99% on a new RAV4, and get 2.99% on the Taft Tundra. Wherever life leads, there's a Toyota for you, right here at Panama City Toyota.
Offer expires April 1st. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
Spring has sprung. Vacations are next. At That Boot Store, you can dress the whole family from the youngest to the oldest with high-quality clothing at fantastic prices and look great wherever you travel. No time for vacations? Not to worry. That Boot Store offers high-quality Carhartt work clothes at affordable prices, too. Shop That Boot Store, celebrating 60 years in business. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, and Friday and Saturday, 9 until 5:30. Next to Billboard Kia 15th Street, Panama City. That Boot Store, where God is good all the time.
Coming in hot.
So hot.
It'll be a hot one. Really hot.
God damn. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. If you were listening to us towards the end of the first segment and you heard Jay Henley's golf tip of the week, he referred to it as the spanking hand. And it has been confirmed by your mother that there was, in fact, a lot of spankings when you were growing up.
There was.
And you turned out fine.
I don't know
Maybe
about all
that corrected you in the right way.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, indeed. So I appreciate your mom just reaffirming that was in fact true and not false information there from you.
Did you guys get spankings when you were a kid?
Tons.
Tons.
I was supposedly a good kid.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But that's what I say. Tell everybody anyway. I don't think so.
Yeah, I got you.
Were belts still a thing when you were coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like the...
Mom can allude into that one as well. So,
my parents had their own paddles. Like, my dad had a paddle, my mom had a paddle. I don't know if you guys remember the game Jacari. I guess it was kind of like paddleball or something like that. So my mom had a Jacari paddle, and my dad had a little bit of a thicker paddle.
Holes in the paddle or no?
No holes in the paddle. No holes in the paddle.
You know what the holes in the paddle do?
Holes in my tail.
The resistance,
less
right?
wind resistance,
Less wind
more
resistance.
speed.
Yep.
It's all about speed and everything.
Yeah.
Batting, paddling.
And rhythm
golf,
and balance.
Rhythm and balance. You got to have a good base. You got to be in your base formation. And you got to have the good hip turn and then the snap of the paddle.
That's it. Now, what about mouthwash? Did you ever get your mouth washed out with soap?
No.
Yep.
I did as well, David.
The moral of the story is you were a little rambunctious as a child.
Mischievous.
I just remember I was playing an intense wiffle ball game when I was like 7 years old, I guess. And so I'm out there with my cousin, and my cousin hit like a long bomb, and I threw a four-letter word in, and Mom heard it because she was coming to pick me up.
Oof.
And boy, it was a silent ride home, and there was a washing of the mouth with soap.
I said that Rodney Atkins song, and my 4-year-old said a 4-letter.
That's right.
Man, started off early.
Yeah.
7 years old.
That's it.
People hit. Were you the pitcher?
No, I feel like I was observing.
I would have justified it if you were the pitcher.
You were observing,
just watching. You're just in the
golly, I hate my cousin so good at this game.
Hitting dingers. I figured you were the pitcher.
I can't remember. I really can't. I just remember the 4-letter word.
We need your mom to call into the show one of these days and just give us a nice little synopsis of your childhood and how you were.
That would be a couple of segments.
Yeah, hey,
most likely.
We are all for it. That is for sure. That is for sure. So I just wanted to clear that up before we dove into our next topics, which are going to live in the NFL rule changes, Jay. We talked about it briefly in the first segment, but there's basically been, I think it's 4 rule changes that have officially been approved by the league owners. They've all been voted on. One of those is the challenge rule, where if you do a challenge successfully, one of your 2 challenges, you will be awarded an additional challenge. So I think that's fine. That doesn't really affect things too much. And, going back to the NFC Championship, if Shanahan had the chance to get an additional challenge, maybe he throws that flag on Devontae Smith. Here we go. That's neither here nor there. The second other rule change is, one of the big ones is they are banning the swivel hip drop tackle. Do you know what the swivel hip drop tackle is, Jay?
I do not.
So basically, what happens in a hip drop tackle is a defender goes and grabs with both arms, usually the midsection or lower body, and then drops all of their weight and kind of turns and essentially will fall on the player's legs. But you're using
like a suplex.
It's a rugby tackle is what it is. It's a way to use your body weight in order to bring a runner down. A very effective way to tackle these very difficult people that are already done to tackle. So that rule change has been approved and it's officially banned. It kind of looks like the beginning. It'll be more so fines and things like that, and could turn into those 15-yard penalties, much similar to using the crown of your helmet to hit and those kind of things. But as you can expect, several of the defensive players across the NFL were not really happy with this rule change. And one of those Colts cornerback, Kenny Moore, said, "What is this league becoming?" Texas cornerback Lonnie Johnson said, "The new rule is BS." Dolphins safety Javon Holland, breaking news, tackling banned. J.J. Watt just flashed forward to belts with flags on them, and he's not even in the league anymore. So that was certainly an interesting. What are your thoughts? Hip drop tackle. What do you think the whole point of this is?
Tackle, you've got to start thinking before you tackle, and I just don't think thinking should be involved in tackle. It should be like a motion. It should be reactionary.
You train enough, you go through enough reps that you're not thinking, you're reacting, and that's how you're supposed to play the highest level of sports.
And I mean, do you remember when Bobby Boucher started tackling before he,
once he learned his tackling fuel.
Right, his tackling fuel. I mean, he was just slapping at him and all that. Before long, these guys will have to, but you can't think and you're making them think every time they go in for a tackle, and that's not good for the sport, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's not.
But it goes back to what the poll question was. Then I need to look and see what those answers are. Do you think stuff like this changes viewership?
Now that we're diving into this a little bit more, absolutely.
You think so?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the only, and again, this is more the players than fans. And I think fans are upset too, because you're just going to see defense be hard. I mean, because how are you going to be able to tackle people?
Right.
I mean, you're going to have to try to go up top. You can't, use your body weight anymore in the lower body. And I don't know, does it lead to different other types of tackles that become more dangerous?
Very well. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you can't use your helmet. You can't use whatever that we just talked about. I can't even say it.
Hip drop tackle.
Yeah, hip drop tackle. I mean,
such a fancy term.
It is. I mean,
took me a while to figure out what it really meant.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's going to get harder. And I mean, are people going to be wanting to play defensive positions? I mean, we've talked about this before. How difficult. I mean, I think arguably besides a quarterback, playing a corner or a safety, corner specifically, is one of the hardest positions to play, especially at the highest levels, because everything seems to be against you. You can't touch the receiver. They're running running at you. You're running backwards.
Right.
Now you can't hip drop tackle. Like, if the NFL's goal is just to create more scoring and more scoring, actually scoring was down last year. Now they're banning the hip drop tackle. Maybe that's part of it with all these other sports, just trying to make it more quote unquote entertaining. But a good tackle, a good nice hip drop tackle,
That's more
I think is very entertaining.
Yes.
Myself, that is for sure.
I agree.
All right, the other big rule that was approved this morning, and this is going to be a weird one. A lot of people aren't going to probably like this. It's going to look very different. I really think this one was primarily done for safety. We'll see after the year gets over whether it actually does lower that concussion number a little bit, but the NFL this morning did approve the new kickoff rule. It's a hybrid model similar to the XFL. So, Jay, I'm going to go through this for you because I know you have no idea what it looks like. And but again, this was this morning. It's kicking off a new era in the NFL as the owners just approved the hybrid kickoff rule. After years of tweaks, turned to one of the game's most exciting moments into a dead ceremonial play because there's been more touchbacks than ever because there's hardly been any returns. The league did this to hopefully make the kickoff play more important while still keeping it safe. So basically, what they're going to be doing, the kickoff will still be from the 35-yard line. Returnals will be down there where they normally are, somewhere around the 5. But the opposing team, the kick returning team, will be able to line up between the 30 and 35-yard line, where the kicking team has to line up on the 40-yard line. But the caveat is none of those players can move except for the kicker and the returners until the ball is touched by the returner. So everybody has to freeze. So really, I mean, say you catch it at the 10-yard line, you're talking about 30 yards worth of blocking and run up. You know, that's space between the kick returner and the defensive players.
So the defensive players have to stay still.
Everybody has to stay still except the returner and the kicker. So, I mean, if the kicker wants to run past everybody and try to make a tackle, he certainly could.
But at this point,
and there's no fair catches anymore. So they got rid of the fair catch aspect. So in the touchback, I believe, if I got it in front of me, does that go back to the 30 or I think it goes to the 30. So if there's a touchback, it goes all the way up to the 30. So what do you think?
I think they're still going to be kicking it into the stands every time. I mean,
but you're getting the ball on the 30 now. Were they getting the ball on the 30 last year, or was it on the 25?
I thought it was 25.
I thought it was 25 too, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think in college it's 25 and the NFL is 20.
Okay. So yeah, you're talking about a 10-yard difference then from last year to this year if you're kicking those touchbacks. And that's a big difference. You're only 20 yards into getting into plus territory.
25 is what I'm seeing.
Is where it'll be this year or
no, from
next year? Okay.
Yeah.
So they moved it up. So it's going up 5 yards if you get a touchback.
Yeah, it was at the 25. Yeah.
That could be a big difference. Big difference.
Big difference. Yeah.
So now, but now if it's down for a touchback, it's only moved out to the 20.
I thought they were moving it back to the 30. Let me see if I thought I read that earlier because that was they're trying not to encourage less touchbacks. So that's why I thought.
Well, if they moved it to the 30, that would
you'd get 10 more yards. As
right,
the return
so you would
team.
want to keep on getting touchbacks.
Yeah, that's kind of what he's saying.
Yeah.
No. The return team gets the ball at the 30. Not the kicking team. The kicking team's kicking off from the 35 regardless.
Right.
Yeah. So instead of you getting the ball on the 25-yard line going out, you'd get the ball on the 30-yard line going out.
But it's the 20 though.
Yeah, it's the 20 because if you you're gaining 5 yards if you get the ball at the 30.
Yeah, if there's a touchback. The return team is gaining the 5 yards. Not the kicking team.
Okay.
So you're getting an additional 5 yards if the kicking team kicks it into the end zone and gets a touchback.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So essentially, you're spotting the team, and maybe teams don't care. You're spotting the team another 5 yards this year versus last year if you get a touchback and kick it in the end zone.
Right.
But you can't fair catch it anymore. So if you catch it on the 1 or the 2 or whatever, you've got to take it.
Yeah.
But they only get that running start then from the 40.
Okay, so if it's a touchback, it goes to the 20-yard line. But if it's downed in... So if a kick flies into the end zone and stays in bounds, it can be returned or down. But kickers will try to avoid doing this because if it is down, the ball will be placed at the 30. And the original proposal, the line was going to be the 35, but that was deemed to be too much of a penalty for the kicking team. I'm not going to understand any of this until I start seeing it. So
same with
yes. I think the whole point is to try to make kickoffs more important. But I just see this thing kind of shaken out as you're just going to see a lot of quick tackles, in my opinion.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe you get do you think something like this will spark more skill player. Not that the returners aren't skill players, but you throw a guy like Tyreek Hill back there and some of these other faster guys where it's such a risk when you had guys running from the 35-yard line full speed all the way down to you, your gunners. Now they're only running from the 40. Does that give some of these skill players less of a chance of getting hurt and more of an opportunity to make an impact? And you start seeing more of your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2s, and your starting corners and stuff returning kicks rather than your kick returning specialists.
I'm digging this rule a little bit more than I am the hip drop, whatever we talked about.
Hip drop tackle.
Yeah, hip drop.
Swivel hip drop tackle.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's a lot to say.
This is
the Swivackle.
Swivackle. That's the new ad. That's it. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff changing.
There is.
Seems to always happen.
Well, we can just watch the XFL and figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, or UFL.
UFL. Yep.
Yeah.
Starts this Saturday.
Yep.
Coming up.
I watched a little bit of it last year. Or you know what I'll do? You know how this is going to affect my viewership? I'm just going to turn the game off every time there's a kickoff, and then I'll turn it back on after I get back from commercial.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Switch. I don't want to watch you kickoff. Most record touchdown returns on kickoffs in NFL history. That would be something. That would be something. But lots going on in the NFL with the rule changes. I do like the challenge change there. I think that's kind of cool. I think they did something with the onside kick, too. I don't have that information right in front of me, but I want to say, I know we got to take a break, but I want to say they changed, you can only do an onside kick in the last 2 minutes of the half or the game or something like that. I'll look that up. But we do have to take our top of the hour break. When we come back, it'll be the Afternoon Delight debrief in the second half of this Tuesday Inside Drive show. We will see you guys on the other side of the hour. ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega, right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Possible thunderstorms and moderate rain this afternoon and evening with a moderate breeze around 17 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast, and look for the high to be 71. Tonight, there will be light rain and possible thunderstorms with the temperature reaching 64. A chance of thunderstorms and very heavy rain tomorrow with a high of 73. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's time to pick your path and go big and go bold from Bill Bird Kia. You can drive away in a brand new 2024 Telluride from Bill Bird Kia. The 2024 Telluride protects what matters, and it's built for the long haul. Its technology will connect with confidence, and its upscale, all-around rugged look will take you on to the next adventure. The road is yours. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or BillBirdKia.com.
And now, the Afternoon Delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon Delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon Delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Download that free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Throw a little 104.3 in front of that ESPN Northwest Florida to find it, and you'll be able to check that out. Go to TikTok if you got it. Search Inside.Drive, and you'll find some fun clips from the show, mainly Jay playing guitar and saying all off-the-wall funny things that we love him so much for. If you're just tuning into the show and you want to know why I'm wearing this beautiful Joe Dirt wig, it's because my lovely bride, Beth, got it for me as my hair has been changing a lot as of late, and not that I mind, but why not wear a wig on the show?
You're digging it. I'm digging it.
Isn't that a line from the movie?
Life's a garden, dig
it. Bingo. I knew you'd have it. That's perfect. So that is, if you're curious what the wig is about, that is what the wig is about.
Yeah.
So, but yes, and also want to give a shout out to Kramer Marine and Outdoor and Bill Kramer GM, our studio sponsor right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Although it's a little choppy out there in the water today, it's boating season. And if your boat's not ready to get back out on the water, you need to go check them out. They'll even come to you to get you back out on the water. And if you're just done with your boat, you don't want to do it, they'll also take care of the hassle of selling your boat as well. They'll get it out the door for you, take a small little percentage. You don't have to deal with any of the nonsense when you're trying to sell something like that. People not showing up, people trying to haggle. It is what it is. They'll take care of it for you. And then, of course, the dealership, Bill Kramer GM, lots of new vehicles in stock, up to $20,000 off select trucks. Service department is rocking and rolling. They get you tires at cost. Go check out Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. Jay, before we get into our afternoon delight debrief segment, I do want to mention, this is, you probably heard it coming out of one of our breaks in one of our promos, but this is something cool. We were talking about the Orlando Magic earlier with Doc A and quite the run that they're on. But ESPN Northwest Florida, Hauling Hearts, and PCB Hobby all going in together to create the ESPN Northwest Florida Can You Feel the Magic?
Can you feel the magic?
Can you feel it, Jay?
I can feel it.
You can feel it. Well, if you can feel it, you can take a ride with ESPN Northwest Florida on the ultimate road trip, taking a busload of ESPN Northwest Florida listeners to see the Orlando Magic play the Chicago Bulls on Sunday, April 7th. You'll get to watch the game from the presidential suite. It comes with food, drinks, and a free ride on the Magic Express. To enter, just go to the ESPN Northwest Florida app, which you can download where, Jay?
On the Google Play Store or Apple Store.
And then you click Enter Contest. Real easy to sign up for it. Again, that's sponsored by Hauling Hearts, PCB Hobby, and right here, us at ESPN Northwest Florida. So if you're wanting us to take care of all the transportation, the presidential suite, food, all that good stuff, just go download our free mobile app, enter that contest, and we'll announce the winners, and it sounds like a good time.
I have a confession, Ryan.
Do it.
43 years old, young, and I'm just finding out the Orlando Magic got their name from the Magic Kingdom.
Really?
In Orlando. I didn't correlate those two.
Is that true?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you just look it up?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
I didn't. I mean, all these years I've been like,
they do say Orlando is the most magical place on earth.
Yeah. I mean, it's magical.
You had mentioned that they got the kitty cats running around in Magic Kingdom doing stuff too.
That's right. That's right.
Hope old boy from that story yesterday don't show up.
Oh yeah. That's true. Right. That's true. That was a good one. But yeah, I guess that does. I didn't know that either.
Thank you.
I'm not as old as you. So I had a couple years to figure it out. So I got it ahead of you did. But no, I had no idea. Orlando Magic Kingdom.
You know, I was watching Shaq and all the, back in the day when Orlando Magic had all those guys, and I didn't even correlate that Magic and Magic Kingdom. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. You just learn something new every day.
If you're not learning something new every day, you ain't living.
There you go. That's right.
That is for sure. You got a segment, or you want me to jump into it?
I've got one.
All right, let it ride.
It's not a very recent one. This happened in December of 2023. This is
as opposed to December.
Yeah, December of last year.
Gotcha.
This is another Florida
fairly
story.
Recent. 2023?
Yeah.
It was only like 3 months ago.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't
I would consider that in the recent realm of time.
Police were on a hunt for a Florida man who stole a 50-pound live fish from the pond at a Bass Pro Shop in Fort Myers,
We haven't talked
Florida.
about this one, but I've seen the story.
Okay.
He stole a tarpon, right?
Yes. I mean,
and tarpon are highly protected. Can't take them out of the water.
This guy got his hands on it.
I know.
Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers organization has asked the public for information regarding a young Florida man who was caught on camera using a net to steal a 50-pound live tarpon from the pond at a Bass Pro Shop located in Fort Myers, Florida. Detectives are working with local animal cruelty task force to arrest and charge the suspect.
I'm pretty sure since this story came out, all that has happened.
Yes, I think they did find the guy. I'm looking.
One of the cool things, if you want to just catch a tarpon yourself, there's lots of local guides here, and the tarpon have been running up and down the beach the last couple of years. So if you want to go experience a bucket list fish, go catch a tarpon on a fly rod, and you can have a lot of fun. Or you can just, get arrested and go to Bass Pro Shops and dive in. I don't think I'd do that.
In a video shared by a witness, a suspect is seen carrying the silverfish, smiling at cameras while watchers quickly get out of his way. I mean, this guy had a net, and he just walked straight out of Bass
and nobody
Pro Shop.
stopped him.
No one. I mean, anyways, that's a crazy Florida story.
You would think that some person would have tackled him, put the fish back in the water, and saved that tarpon.
No kidding.
Especially when you're in a Bass Pro Shops.
Right?
A lot of fishermen in there, and they appreciate how important the tarpon is.
Yeah.
I know, that was a crazy one.
That's a crazy one.
You just never know what people will do.
No, you don't.
Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got to mention before we get into our next story, if you listen to Coach James Hale's show this morning, you will know what that keyword is. That is for the race to Talladega. We had Brian Crichton on yesterday, so did David Hayes, so y'all could learn all about what's going on up at the Geico 500. That's going to be Sunday, April 21st. But if you have tickets to go up there, you can camp the entire week for free amongst many other things up there. But if you heard the keyword this morning, you text the code in to 850-215-6290. Coming up here in about 9 minutes, we will announce your name. That's randomly number generated. And if you do hear your name, the quickest you can call us back at 850-215-6290 will be your qualifying time. And the fastest qualifying times each week will win a pair of tickets up to the race to Talladega. We're running it between now and April 12th. So be sure to make sure if you text the word in this morning when you're listening to Coach James Hale Show, make sure you're listening to the Inside Drive during 12:15 or the Afternoon Underdogs at 5:15. We call your name, you call us, you get that qualifying time in there. You got a chance to win a pair of tickets up to Talladega.
Fun.
Sounds like a good time. You've been to Talladega.
I have. I was there the weekend that they filmed Talladega Nights with Ricky Bobby. And I know we've talked about it before,
it's
but
still good.
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny because that scene whenever he's running across the finish line in his underwear. All right, so we were there, and there were only like maybe 100 people standing alongside the finish line.
Gotcha.
But see, Hollywood brought all those other people. All those other people are fake.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah.
It's weird how Hollywood does that stuff.
Absolutely. It's technology.
Yeah.
Cinematography, graphics, all that good stuff. But yeah, of course you would have been there when that movie was being filmed. Yeah. But you could just head right up the road there. So just lots of contests going on right now too with ESPN Northwest Florida. We appreciate our listeners and our sponsors for making all that awesome stuff happen. I know we're going to try to do a Masters pool as well, much like we're doing the NCAA March Madness Big Bracket Challenge. I'm working on seeing how to figure out. I know Masters has it on their website. Can you create groups and all that stuff? So we're going to figure that out. So stay tuned for more information on that one. I got one here, Jay. Again, comes from UPI.com. This is from yesterday. California police asked to stop using Lego heads to disguise suspects. I don't know if it was computer or they were actually had Lego heads that they would stick on top of the faces here. And again, California Police Department said it will need a new way to disguise the faces of suspects in photos posted to social media after Lego asked the department to stop using its intellectual property. The Murrieta Police Department, sounds like Marietta up in Georgia, but it's Murrieta Police Department, has been using various images, including emoji faces and characters from The Grinch, Shrek, and Barbie, to cover the faces of suspects in mugshots and other photos posted to social media for a couple of years. And this year, California adopted the statewide law prohibiting police from sharing photos of suspects in non-violent crimes. That was going to be my question, because you see around here, you see mugshots left and right being put on social media.
Yeah.
So obviously there's your answer. It's a California state law that non-violent crimes, they're now covering up the identity of these suspects, which is interesting. It's public record in most states. But anyway, the Murrieta Police Department prides itself in transparency with the community, but also honors everyone's rights and protections as afforded by law, even suspects. The department said in a social media post, in order to share what is happening in Murrieta, we chose to cover the faces of suspects to protect their identity while they are still aligning with the new law. In recent weeks, the department has made practice of using images depicting the heads of Lego minifigs to block out the faces of suspects in social media posts. But Lieutenant Jeremy Durant said a particular practice has now come to an end. The Lego group has reached out to us and respectfully asked us to refrain from using their intellectual property in our social media content, which of course we understand and will comply with, Durant said in a statement provided the Murrieta Patch. We are currently exploring other methods of publishing our content in a way that is engaging and interesting to our followers.
I mean, I had a buddy, it was his hobby. He would go to the local convenience store and just grab the Crime
jail
Stopper.
report.
Yeah. And, it's so funny to watch, people's mugshots.
Yeah.
I mean, but anyways, that's, yeah.
Why do you think Lego didn't want it anymore? Is that not good advertising for them? Or is it correlating bad things with their brand?
Or is it, are they signifying let them go, let go, no, nah.
Ooh,
I don't.
You almost had something there.
Maybe
Lego my ego.
yeah.
I mean, you would think that would be good advertising. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of besides commercials with toys. I mean, why not?
Yeah. And who else would like the Grinch? They did the Grinch.
Yeah, they did some other. It looks like some movies there. The Grinch and Shrek and Barbie to cover faces up
for nonviolent crimes.
For nonviolent crimes, state law, California.
I'm learning so much about California.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
But it keeps happening. It keeps happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no more Legos. I mean, they could just use the old Blur, but I guess that's not as exciting for them.
I guess. Man, that's crazy.
I don't know. Interesting. You got any more? You want me to dive into another one?
Go for another one. I like
I'll
it.
dive into another one.
Yeah.
This goes into one of your favorite topics. It's about bears. It's kind of your thing. What's the statement? What you're saying?
If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. That's just what I've heard.
It sounds like your same bathroom strategy. It's a very similar type of statement.
As much as we talk about animals, that would be a good advertisement here on the radio. Some like creature, the people that come and grab all the crazy creatures.
Animal control.
Well, there's businesses out there that do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've seen the wildlife truck. I've seen him driving around, got like a raccoon on the back.
We need to interview that guy.
I bet he's good. I feel like you'd know him. That's your task.
I don't know.
Give him a lesson, find out all he knows, and then report back on the show. Because I'm sure around these parts, there's a lot of interesting animal stories when it comes to capturing.
I mean,
we talked yesterday about all these bears that live under your den in the winter under your decks and in your crawl spaces and all that.
Right.
It's like crawl spaces are just scary.
They are.
Because anything could be in there.
Yes.
Dicey.
Black mold, green mold. I mean, it could be anything.
Yellow mold.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's all sorts of mold. But it's penicillin, too.
Did not. Okay. All right. So
it's in fact mold.
So that helps.
Yeah. Nah, not that kind. They got to concentrate it and put it in a pill and make that happen. You can't just go eating black mold off a house. I wouldn't do that. I do not condone that here on the Inside Drive. All right, this is just a short, quick one. Again, from UPI. The title of the story is Curious Bears Take a Ride on a Swan Boat. Black bears, Jay, not brown.
Okay.
So you're going to fight these bears on the swan boat.
Yeah.
March 25th, again, yesterday, a British safari park used recent rains to give their North American black bears some unusual enrichment. A swan boat. The Woodburn Safari Park in Ridgemont, England, said the recent heavy rains caused a lake to form at the bottom of the 13-acre enclosure occupied by 11 bears. Zookeepers placed a pedal-powered swan boat in the water and placed honey and monkey nuts inside the vessel to encourage the Bruins to check out the new addition. The safari park shared photos and video to social media of the bears investigating the bird-shaped boat. Keepers and visitors are alike were delighted when the bears actually climbed onto the boat to reach their food. The park said on social media they could be spotted climbing all over, playing with and sniffing the boat with great curiosity. And there's a picture, obviously, of the bears climbing onto the boat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they could swim, so they are good swimmers.
It's a good thing we got to call this person's name.
You don't watch National Geographic?
How do you think the bears get the salmon out of the rivers?
Well, typically they're on their feet whenever they're
a mammal. They swim.
I'm just
okay. Here with your bears, black bears fight back, brown lay down.
Yeah.
Also, don't go into a river because the bear will swim you down and get you.
Okay. All right.
Now that you know that. All right. With all that interesting things being said, it is time to announce the name for today's Race to Talladega. We've got Evan Team Elliott is on the clock. You text in this morning. You've got to give us a call, 850-215-6290. When we answer the phone, that'll be your qualifying time. Again, the lowest qualifying time in each of the 3-week periods will win a pair of tickets up there to the Geico 500 on Sunday, April 21st. And if you listened to both the Afternoon Underdogs and the Inside Drive yesterday, you found out about all the awesome things going up on there at Talladega Super Speedway. Give us a call, 850-215-6290. the race to Talladega.
I like you that he's Team Elliott. I'm Team Elliott as well.
Are you?
Come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. NASCAR races. You've been to Talladega,
Daytona,
Daytona, and
Bristol. Yes.
Is there any more that you want to get to?
That's a good question.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah, that is a good question. Michigan, I mean, the home of automobiles up there. I mean, that's a huge race up in Michigan. That's a 2-mile track up there. But
restrictor plate?
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, they do not. They haven't in the past done restrictor plate racing. And I got to give myself go to Watkins Glen or it used to be called Sears Point.
Got to get a road race.
Yeah, got to get a road race in just to check it out,
just to experience it.
But what about you? Would you have? I know you've been to Daytona.
Only been to Daytona. Almost went to Darlington one time when I was in college, just because it wasn't that far away from Myrtle Beach, but never made it around to getting it. I think Beth's been to Darlington before.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty nasty track, isn't it?
It is.
Just what makes it so crazy?
High banked. Not a lot. I mean, too wide is the most you can get on that track because there's not a lot of room.
Gotcha.
So, and that's the thing. It's all about driving. At Talladega, it's all about drafting and all that. Darlington, the best driver always wins at Darlington.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be excited to see who you pick once it becomes time for the Darlington race. That is for sure.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, I think after listening to everything at Talladega, I'd love to go to Talladega.
Yeah.
Just to experience the entire, and I think you'd want to go for an extended, at least 3 days up there, it sounds like. And checking out the, what's the name, what did he call the little short half-mile dirt track?
The Hornets?
The Hornets Nest. Yep.
Yes.
That sounds like that'd be a fun race to watch on Friday night as well.
Yeah.
So it just seems like so much, if you're a big race fan, or you just talk about some people watching, right? We've talked about some of the best places to people watch. I got to imagine that's one of them.
Talladega's up there between Hartsfield Airport, the airports and all that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, me and David were talking yesterday at the baseball game. We just follow you around the whole time up there at Talladega. Just watch you interact and watch the people. I could wear this wig and fit in right fine.
Man, we would have a blast.
That's right.
That would be fantastic.
Yes. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not this year, but maybe in the years. It's coming up.
Get you some short cut-off jean shorts, some jorts, and some cowboy boots to go along with it. Oh, my goodness, man. I'd be giving you firecrackers left and right.
Yes, sir.
Whisker, what is it? Whisker, he just goes through from the movie.
Yep.
Just goes through all of them.
Just need some red man in that pocket, or in the, just.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
there you
true.
go.
Finding septic tanks and all that good stuff.
That's right.
That was such a good movie when you first saw it. Even the 6 or 7 times afterwards, it was still a good one, that's for sure.
Even 100.
Even 100, yep. Probably getting pretty close. But, yeah, there's some more I could talk about, but we only got about 2 minutes left in this segment. But coming up, hopefully he'll be energetic and excited. We're going to be talking to Brad Law. He's the Director of Broadcast Operations up there for the Auburn Sports Radio Network. Kind of an early exit, surprising exit out of the tournament. But they got a baseball game hopefully coming up this afternoon, weather pending on that one. And then spring football is underway, so excited to hear not just from the basketball front, but all the other good things they've got going up there at Auburn. Brad Law will be joining us here in the next segment.
Yes, sir.
You got any other ones real quick or no?
No, I mean, we kind of, I like the two that you brought the heat today with.
Well,
those.
It's just this one website. It's the best website. I haven't been on Florida Man site in a while, but you brought a good Florida Man story.
So back to the Bears, though, they had, they were in this hole, right?
Well, it was just a pond was formed because of excessive rain.
Okay.
So they apparently had a swan pedal boat that they threw in there and put some bear stuff on it, and they interacted with it.
Well, and that's the reason that prompted my question was, okay, why did they put the boat in there to save them from drowning? I mean, or no?
No, bears can swim.
Okay.
We've established that already.
I got you. Right.
Still, hasn't changed. They still can swim. They've got big paws. Makes it easier to create more power in the water. Again, don't try to outswim a bear, and it's not going to be good.
No.
So you learned that today, too.
I did.
Don't swim with bears, because they can't swim.
That's right.
Big day.
But if you see them drowning, throw a little pedal boat in.
Yeah. If you just got a swan pedal boat hanging around, just throw it in there and get them out there. It's been funny. You see people with the pool float swans all the time. I don't know if they can hold up a bear, though.
And we have bears here.
Black bears, this used to be one of the most heavily populated areas in the country for black bears.
Gosh, that's scary.
Black bear's not going to do anything.
No, okay.
Especially for you. I mean, you're going to fight back. You're going to fight back.
That's scary, but you're...
So you're not fighting back. You're just telling everybody else to fight back. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we'll be joined by Brad Law, the Director of Broadcast Operations, the Auburn Sports Radio Network.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Alabama's going to be taking on Charleston. Charleston's a plus 9.5 dog. I think if Bama wins this game, they win by more than 9.5. The problem is, I don't know if Alabama wins this game, man. Now, I've got them picked in the first round, taking on Charleston.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. The remainder of the day, moderate rain and a likelihood of thunderstorms, and 72 with a moderate breeze out of the south-southeast around 15 miles per hour. Tonight, a likelihood of thunderstorms and light sprinkles with lows around 63. Tomorrow, possibility of thunderstorms and heavy rain and a temperature near 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's alive! Look alive!
We're alive!
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Real quick before we jump in with Brad Law, how long can Kodiak Bear swim for, Che?
30 miles.
30 miles is how far they can cover. So what's the moral of the story?
You can't outswim a Kodiak bear.
Or any bear.
Or any bear.
Unless you're a dolphin.
That's right.
So do not, you learned today, the bears can swim, and do not test them.
Yes.
And Brad's probably like, what the heck are you guys talking about? And it's time to bring him in, the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network. That is Brad Law. Brad, how are you on this fine Tuesday?
Oh, look, I'm doing great. I was looking forward to more Beck there. I got 2 turntables and a microphone.
There you go.
One of the great songs of 1996 from the album Odelay.
Hey, there you go.
There we go.
See, that's right up your alley.
Bears and Beck and Odelay. We got a good show going.
That's it. And we'll jump right into it. Obviously, I was hopeful to talk to you today, previewing a Sweet 16 matchup for the SEC tournament champion Auburn Tigers. Obviously, we talked right during the SEC championship week last time. Auburn went on a great run, really dominated in that tournament, ended up winning the SEC tournament, and then obviously we know what happens. Had a tough first round loss to a good Yale team that got hot. What are kind of the there's been a lot to digest over that loss, and the Chad Baker-Mazzaro incident, not making free throws down the stretch that proved to be pretty important. What's the kind of overall thoughts and feelings up there right now with where the basketball program is and heading?
Well, I think that's kind of a big picture question. I don't think that one loss in the NCAA tournament in the first round derails your program, just as it hasn't for Kentucky 4 out of the last 5 tournaments, and like it has Duke several times previously, or any of the other teams. I think 33 times in the last 10 years, a 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed has lost in the first round. Certainly didn't derail Purdue's program last year to lose as a 1 seed in the first round. Didn't derail Virginia's program to lose as a 1 seed in 2018. So what you have in March is madness, and that's why we love it. It's why we love those 4 days of the tournament until it happens to your team.
Exactly.
And it's happened to almost everybody. And I don't want to minimize it. Like, it's frustrating because I think this was Auburn's easiest, with all due respect, easiest path to the Sweet 16. I think this is an easier path than the team that went to the Final Four. This was an easier path than the team that had Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, and it's a shame that we didn't get to experience more than just the one game in the tournament with them. So, Chad Baker-Mazar makes a difference on the floor. There's no question. Free throws kind of evened out, frankly. It was noticeable because Auburn missed them late. Yale missed a ton of one-on-ones early, and Auburn, I think, only missed one the entire first half. So they kind of evened out, but you notice it more when your team misses them late. They just, look, if they played 20 times, Auburn probably wins 19. But if you don't play your best, you will lose. You have the ability to lose in March, and that's what happened.
Well, that's like you said, it's madness indeed, and it's one game at a time, and it can easily sneak up on you. And obviously, certainly, that's what happened. And it just with Johnny, Broom's going to be moving on, hopefully getting a pretty high draft pick in the NBA. I saw Katie Johnson's entered the transfer portal, but like you said, the success at Auburn has been fantastic over pretty much in most of Bruce Pearl's tenure. So yeah, slowing anything down, if anything, do you think this maybe creates more of a fire? I mean, you kind of heard it from Tom Izzo from Michigan State, them going out. He said, I don't know the exact quote, but something along the lines of he's going to die trying to go as deep as a run he can in the tournament. Does this just give more fuel to the Auburn basketball program going into next season to hit that transfer portal and really focus on getting even better than they were this year?
Maybe. I think there's, when you're a coach at this level, your motivation every year is to go as far as you can in the tournament. And I think it's been interesting watching Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl and the rest of the staff the last couple of years. They have gone from heavy high school recruiting classes to really targeted portal signing classes. And these guys who come from the portal, let's say your entire team, let's say half your team is different next year. And that's what the average team is in college basketball today. 50% of the roster is turned over from year to year. Well, half of your team doesn't know what it was like to lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They weren't on your team last year. So their motivation is internal. Their motivation is, just to be a part of that year's team to go as far as it can in the NCAA tournament. I know that what the staff did to improve the roster last season did improve the roster, and I'm excited to see what they think the vulnerable parts, because the roster I think was pretty sound top to bottom. The only area that wasn't experienced was the point guard position, but you had a couple of really talented guys there. We'll see what they do in the portal, or if they do anything in the portal. But I know they have a plan, and I trust their basketball minds, and they know what it takes to go deep in March. You can't build a team just to go deep in March, though, and not withstand the regular season, or else your seed in March isn't going to be what you want it to be. So I don't know necessarily how you build a team for March versus you just build the best team you can, and then hopefully you can play at your best when March comes around.
Yeah, hopefully it translates into March. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. So looking at the tournament as a whole, obviously that first round, I think it was 14 total underdog upsets, the most since 2001, and then only one Vegas upset underdog with Clemson taking down Baylor in the second round. What are some of more of the surprising things it's March Madness, so there's never really too many surprises, but is there anything that really stands out to you just as the tournament as a whole, how it's progressed so far?
No, that's the thing. Not really. I thought Baylor was going to go a little further than it did. I didn't see them losing to Clemson. UConn has demolished everybody. That's not a surprise. We kind of saw it's been an average NCAA tournament so far. The one seeds are winning handily. Purdue looks like it's on a mission. No, I wouldn't say that there's been anything totally shocking. Tennessee is taking care of, the way Tennessee dominated its first round opponent, St. Peter's. This isn't Shaheen Holloway's St. Peter's team. Yeah. And then they were very close against Texas. So maybe they've exercised that 2-game losing streak going into the postseason. I would say no, they haven't. I know it's kind of a boring answer, but no, there haven't been any surprises. It's been a very average to script, because upsets are part of the script, it's been a to-script NCAA tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have, you really only got, I want to say, one team, kind of the surprise team really left in there, and that's NC State. That wasn't even projected to be in the tournament prior to their conference championship. They win 5 straight, and now they've since won 2 back-to-back, making a trip to the Sweet 16. So, but like you said, that's always kind of average and part of these March Madness tournaments where you're going to have a team like that gets on one of those runs and makes some stuff happen.
And it's NC State won 5 games in 5 days to win the ACC tournament, which made them a really dangerous team coming in. Makes the Auburn loss even more just remarkable because they were on a hot streak coming in. Those teams that can win 5 games, what is NC State going to face now that's tougher than winning 5 games in 5 days to win the ACC tournament? They're not going to face anything that's that challenging.
Nope.
So even that, to me, if I had done a bracket, I don't do brackets. I'm not allowed. But if I did a bracket, I would have had NC State in my Sweet 16 for that specific reason.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think a lot of people did, just because some of the teams that are the most dangerous are the ones playing the best going into the March Madness tournament. That's for sure. All right, let's pivot from basketball over to the baseball side of things. SEC play has gotten underway, and Auburn not off to the greatest start, although the teams they're playing, Vanderbilt and Arkansas, and their SEC matchups are some of the best programs in the country. But they got a little midweek matchup against Jacksonville State tonight. Hopefully the weather holds out for that one. But what's going on with the baseball team? They were able to, they lost 2 really close ones last weekend, or last Thursday and Friday, only lost by a run in both of those to number 1 team in the country, Arkansas, and then were able to sneak out that third game 8-6 on Saturday. But how's the buzz around the baseball program right now?
Still high, still very good. They started 0-5 in league play, and the fans responded by filling up the ballpark to the tune of the largest crowd ever at Plainsman Park for a game, for the finale against Arkansas. They played Vandy and Arkansas, and these are 2 top 5 or top 10 teams. And now you'd like to hold your own against those teams and win about half. I mean, that's where you expect to be. But the first 2 games against Vanderbilt, the team wasn't as competitive as you'd want to see. The last game they were, just didn't go their way. First 2 against Arkansas were decided by a leadoff or a first inning solo home run in a 1-0 game, and then a 9th inning solo home run in a 6-5 game, and then it was Auburn that had the big inning, a 3-run home run in a 2-run win. So, 3 swings of the bat sort of determined the outcome of those 3 games against the number 1 team in the country. They did hold their own. And these first 4 weekends are brutal. The first few weekends of last year's conference record were brutal. And Auburn went 5-10 the first half of the conference season. But they were battle-tested, and they continued to tweak and continued to improve. And they finished 12-3 in league play down the stretch and wound up hosting. So I think the idea is hold your own, try to get a game here or there against these first 4 teams on the schedule. Got to go to Texas A&M this weekend, who's started 5-1 in league play, and they've only lost 3 games overall all year. And then you come home to host Tennessee. But after those 4, with all due respect to everybody else, it's still the SEC, it's still a gauntlet, but it's not 4 top 10 teams.
Yeah, they're starting.
So, there's a fine line that Butch Thompson and the staff are trying to walk, and that is you preach consistency and you don't panic when things don't go well. But at the same time, you're always trying to tweak. You're always looking for ways to improve. And if you're giving your best and you're losing 1-run games, you still go, all right, well, what little thing could we do to change? And, they've tweaked the starting rotation a little bit, and I'm excited to see that play out for a second straight weekend. I think it adds depth to the back end of the bullpen, gives you a little more stability at the front end of the starting rotation, and we'll see how that plays out this weekend at Texas A&M.
Yeah, just like you said, 3 very tough opening opponents there in the SEC schedule with Texas A&M not getting any easier, that's for sure. Getting back to what you said in that final game of the Arkansas series there, a record number of attendance there at Plainsman Park. What do you think that has to do with? Is that kind of just Auburn in general, just the support that it always gets, or does it have to do with the opponent being the number 1 team in the country, or just kind of a combination of all those things?
I think it's mostly where the program's continuing to build. I mean, they're renovating the facility. They added new seats beyond right center for students. They added the Hall of Fame Club, which is the backstop seating there behind home plate and new premium area. There's construction going on. There's a vision that's been very clearly communicated to the fan base that the athletic department is committed to the program. Everybody loves Butch Thompson, the head coach. He's in his 9th year here, which is crazy to think about. But everybody's on board, and they're excited about the product that they see. I mean, even though, again, that's why you don't look at the record. If you just look up and you've paid no attention, you go 0-5 in the league. Well, they're really struggling. But if you've paid attention and you've seen the teams they've played and how they've played, you know it could just be one game. They're one game away from breaking out. And we had beautiful weather Saturday when we had not had beautiful weather on Friday, and they were ready to come out in a mid-afternoon game and support the team and see if they could help get them going in the right direction, and the crowd did. It made a difference, and noticed by the players and by the coaching staff and appreciated by them, and I think you're going to continue to see numbers like you saw in that Saturday game against Arkansas become the norm every time out in league play.
Brad, when you attend some of these Auburn baseball games, do you ever see Tim Hudson or any of the other former guys, there in the stadium?
Yeah, Tim was actually at the Saturday game. He was one of the guys there. I think he was in the Hall of Fame Club down behind home plate. Did see him a little bit after the game. You know, he was a pitching coach on this team 2 years ago when they went to Omaha, and still very involved and a supporter of the program, and he was there Saturday.
Nice.
That's cool. I mean, and just think college baseball too is just in such a cool spot right now, because you can pretty much, no matter where you went, if you're an alma mater, it's the team you're trying, you can watch almost every game on the ESPN Plus. I mean, I've been able to watch as many Coastal Carolina baseball games as I could ever imagine. I think that just bleeds through the availability to watch college baseball and even college softball nowadays. It probably bleeds right into those attendance and making it more exciting, because I think you're just getting more eyes and more opportunity for people to watch some high-level baseball in college, which is pretty cool.
Anytime you make something available to people and you give them a reason to watch, you're right. The product is a good product, and you just got to give people access to it. I don't know that the product is better than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. That's a fine conversation to have. But our access to it is much more now than it's ever been, and I think that's a win for everybody involved. It will lead to more money for the sport. It will lead to more visibility, better facilities, better crowds, which means now you have more opportunities. Say you're a dad, you have more opportunities to take your kids and give them an experience that they will remember and that they'll cherish and create memories and all those. I tend to look at it from a very big picture point of view, and from the fan perspective. And, I think it's absolutely phenomenal for everybody involved.
Do you see a difference between day games and night games? Or are there more night games than day games, I guess?
The way we do it here, of course, TV has a little bit of a say, and we play, I think, 4 Thursday, Friday, Saturday series this year. So when you have those, and of course our midweek games are all night games, your weeknight games, Thursday night, Friday night, those are all night games. Typically Saturdays are afternoons. Sundays are all afternoon games. Every night, like this weekend at A&M, because it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, our Saturday game is a night game. So probably throughout the course of the season, you have more night games than day games. There's nothing like that. A Friday night crowd in the SEC is going to have a different vibe than a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon crowd.
Yeah.
But a Tuesday night crowd is not going to be the same as a Saturday afternoon crowd, for example. So probably more night games than day games throughout the course of the year. And, of course, if your team's winning, it's going to be electric every time out. But I would say it's a few more night games than day games.
Well, and what's cool about these baseball games, and you kind of hit something on the head for me there, is you talk about it's a family event. I mean, it's if you got a minor league baseball team close by, it's such a fun. Like we got the Blue Wahoos, not super close, but 2 hours away, and they draw great crowds and all that. But if you're up in the Auburn area, what an awesome opportunity and an affordable opportunity to go see some great stuff. And that's why I just love college baseball and even minor league baseball in certain level. It's a cool family experience. You're building the legacy through your children children. They're going to be excited about it. You kind of keep passing around. That's why I love college baseball so much from that aspect, which I think you nailed right there, and talk about how good of an experience it is for a family to go to.
Yeah, I agree. And again, more resources mean that, a bigger audience means more resources go into things like game day experience, and your video board presentation is different now than it would have been 20 years ago. And the between inning contests and entertainment and stuff like that, you're starting to see that become a little closer to what you have in a minor league game, especially at these SEC parks. There's something in between every inning that catches your attention. So it's wonderful for families.
Yeah, awesome experience. Some in the you're getting bigger crowds at a lot of these college games, than way bigger than you get some of these AAA games, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
But yes, Brad, we've run out of time. We appreciate you as always. Have a great week up there. Hopefully Auburn can win that series out there in College Station and take down Texas A&M and keep the good season going.
It would be huge. It would give them a lot of momentum, that's for sure, going in. Really appreciate it, guys. War Eagle to the Auburn fans on the coast, and hope you have a great rest of the week.
You too. That's Brad Law. He's the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network. We'll be back with our final segment on this Tuesday.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
So who do you think that's in it now? Like, if you had to pick,
I'm still saying UConn.
Are you?
Yeah. Although Purdue is that big man, Edey, from, if I pronounce his name correctly, from Purdue, is a beast. And I love what his coach said yesterday in the press conference, talking about, he's just good because he's big. No, he's good because he's good.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Join Kitchen Designs at the BBIA Great American Home and Recreation Expo, April 5th and 6th from 9 to 5 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. For full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, come see them at the Home Show or visit their 2 convenient showrooms, 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Come see it all at the Home Show, April 5th and 6th. They can't wait to meet you.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
ESPN Northwest Florida is an active member of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We want to introduce the newest members to the Beach Chamber: BFG Productions, PCB, Bones Heating and Cooling, Custom Granite Kitchens and Baths, Kelly Deanna Designs, On Harrison Accounting and Consulting Services, Performance Food Service Valdosta, Premier Coast Advisors, and Snelling Staffing Services. Congratulations from the only local sports talk station, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The locals love him.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Jay, do you know what springtime on the Gulf Coast means?
Sun.
Typically, yes. But you know what else?
Beach.
Yeah. The beach is always here.
Yeah.
Regardless of the season.
Bears that can swim.
Bears that can swim. True.
Yeah.
There have been bears in the Gulf.
Right. Springtime. Baseball.
Bingo.
Yes.
You know what starts on Thursday?
Braves baseball.
Braves baseball right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Opening day is this Thursday. Not technically officially opening day. It's officially opening day for the other 28 teams in Major League Baseball. Coverage will start at 12:50. First pitch is at 2:05. And if I know it off the top of my head, I believe they are playing an opening series against the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure about that one. So right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, as we are your home for the Atlanta Braves. And there'll be a lot of awesome coverage right here as the season is just upon us in 2 days.
Every time I still go to, well, it's not Turner, well, no, it's not that, Truist.
Yeah,
sorry, Truist.
You worked through it.
Yeah, I worked through it. And hearing that tomahawk chop for the first time, I get chills every time. Almost like the first lap in NASCAR, it gives you chills.
Boogity, boogity.
Boogity, boogity, and tomahawk chop.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
And they've added some new stuff to the Truist Park this year. A couple added new seating sections and some different things. So just a great experience up there to go. And who knows, maybe we'll have some giveaways down the road to get some people up to some Braves games.
Yes, sir.
Because this is Braves country. There's no doubt about it. But we'll go through some power rankings later in the week as we get a little bit closer to that opening day. But just wanted to make sure everybody is always tuning in. You're trying to catch some Braves coverage. It'll be right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Trying to keep up with what Caveman Rick and Beth were talking about on the Facebook page. I don't know if you guys saw that in the comments. Something about a guy that has a turkey, and he has stickers on his car mentioning there's a turkey in his car, and I guess he brings it into Lowe's in a grocery cart. Have you heard of this particular gentleman?
Is that here in Bay County?
I believe it is here in Bay County.
My man celebrates Thanksgiving all year long.
Or he just celebrates it the one day, but hangs out with the turkey up until that one day.
He takes a turkey trot to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
Did you know when I first learned what a turkey shoot was, I thought you were actually trying to shoot turkeys? But you were not.
You're right.
Trying to hit a target to win a turkey.
Yeah, that's
doesn't
it.
sound as fun.
But turkey season.
I did not know. So here's my learn something new today. That is ridiculous.
I'm surprised you didn't know that, to be honest.
I've never been to a turkey shoot because I would be very disappointed if I showed up and it's like, we're not going to
100%
shoot what we're going to eat.
100% agree.
I'm out of here.
When we were
I'm going to go to the woods.
That's right. We'll go find my own turkey and then bring it to Lowe's.
It makes no sense to me that turkey season is in the spring. That's when you go shoot turkey. But we eat turkey for Thanksgiving in the fall.
You can eat turkey whenever you want.
Well, that's true.
A lot of people do, actually.
Yeah.
Turkey sandwiches.
Right.
Do you feel uncomfortable if you bake a turkey or fry a turkey and it's not Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it is a little odd. But I've never, I don't know if I've ever done that.
I'm going to get you a turkey this weekend.
Are you?
You can cook it and eat it and not be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a guy around here. I don't know. Caveman Rick and Beth are talking about the Facebook page. I'm trying to decipher what they're talking about. I'll try to learn more information and get back to you.
Huh.
Turkeys. Yeah, but yeah, when we lived in North Augusta, South Carolina, we'd always turn right into the road where we're going. There was turkey shoot. They'd have a sign for it. And I was like, we should do that one time. I said, I want to go shoot some turkeys. She's like, no, you're not shooting turkeys. You're shooting targets to win a turkey. I'm like, why call it a turkey shoot then? You should just call it a target shoot with the prize being a turkey.
So do you get like a live turkey given to you, or is it?
That I don't know. I'm sure there's some variations on it. I would assume at this point that you're winning a turkey that's either refrigerated or frozen for you. But because if you get a live turkey, why not just go to shoot the turkey then? I don't know. It's a weird concept to me. I don't even know we're going to talk about the turkey shoot today, but there we go. So if you've participated in a turkey shoot before, please let us know what it's all about.
Right?
You know, I don't think I've seen those around here very often.
No,
You just got to go north a little bit.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
But you stay in the south, but you're still going north.
I've seen signs for them here.
Have you? We need to. Sounds like we need to do a turkey shoot sometime.
We got Lynn Haven Rob on the line. He's probably going to tell us about it.
Perfect. Lynn Haven Rob, tell us about the turkey shoot, if that's what you're calling about.
Years ago, back in the 60s, yes, they had live turkeys at it, but you didn't have it maybe a dozen people, and whoever won it got the turkey. Now, if you go to one, it's usually a nonprofit group that's putting it on, and you get a certificate, and then you go to your whatever store that they have set up, and you go and get your frozen turkey.
You redeem your voucher for the turkey.
Interesting.
Correct.
So it did originate as you were shooting live turkeys.
Yes, because my dad and one of them went years ago, and they told me that they had the turkey tied up over there, and they were shooting the turkey and shot the string, and the turkey run off.
So the turkey was pardoned, so to speak.
Yes, indeed. Now, the reason to answer your question about the spring turkey season is because it is the mating time of the year, and that's when the turkeys are actually gobbling, and the hens kind of stay away from them during the day, and during the fall, turkeys all run in a group. This time of year, after they fly down and do their thing, the turkeys go to their nest and turn their eggs every day and then sit on their nest and everything else. And so and the gobblers are wandering around and they gobble and strut and all that sort of stuff. And that's why turkey season is this time of year.
There you go. So what is the official, if you know, what is the official typically dates for turkey season in these parts? I'm just curious.
It's usually around the 1st of March till the 1st of April.
Okay.
Somewhere in that general vicinity.
And it seems like an elusive creature to try to kill. Is it more elusive than a deer?
Yes, because their eyesight is better than a deer's. Because a deer is colorblind, and a turkey is, even though he got a little bit head, he's smart, and he can see probably better. I mean, you think most birds, if an eagle can fly, at about 3,000 feet and see a dead rat on the ground,
yep,
they got pretty good eyesight, and they're not colorblind, so therefore it's tough. And
Where is turkey? Where's turkey in the whole scheme of things? I mean, is it up there on the bird chain, up there with the eagle, or whereabouts?
I'm going to say it's below the eagle as far as apex predators. I don't think there's a lot of natural predators or natural food for turkeys. I don't know. I could be mistaken.
Well, as far as the predators go, the bobcats, it's like anything. Everything eats them, but now turkeys will protect themselves. Their spurs, after they get about 4 years old, are probably 2 inches long and sharp, and one will beat you to death if he jumps on you.
All this sounds like we need to take Jay on a turkey hunt, and we need to film it and be a part of it because it just sounds like a glorious time. It would be great. Right. We're running out of time.
Call me sometime when you get a chance. David's got my number, and I'll tell you who to get up with.
We're making this
He's
happen.
got a farm in Bonifay, and he takes a lot of people that's never been before, and we'll call the turkey up for you.
Sir.
See,
might even talk to you about doing a sponsorship.
Hey, there we go. We will be in touch. That's for sure. I mean, nothing would be more exciting to go on a turkey hunt with Jay and then report back on it on Monday. There is no doubt.
Yeah, I would care less about hunting at that point. I would just be like, just let us watch Jay.
Yep, it's like Talladega.
My next lesson of the day. Last week, y'all were talking about the beehives that had wrecked on the road. Okay, the beehive. These guys rent their hives out to California. They send their hives out there to pollinate the almond trees and stuff like that, and they send them up north to do the blueberry trees. And when they send a tractor trailer here, they put like 200 beehives on the truck, cover it up, and as long as that queen stays in that hive, you can't run them bees out of it. That's why when that wrecked, they didn't lose a lot of bees, because as long as that queen is in that hive, they're good. Man. They won't leave.
It's like a good woman.
Yeah.
Lesson of the day.
There you go. I like that. I did just hear from one of our listeners, Steve Wiley, that turkeys eat over 200 ticks a day.
Ooh.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they eat insects. That's their biggest thing. Well, they'll eat corn and soybeans. They'll eat, but grasshoppers, and ticks, that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're an insect eater.
There you go. Huh.
So
there's their prey.
That's right.
They're not, and when people talk about eating ticks and stuff, they're not like a monkey or an ape that's sitting there picking them off of each other. They're going around, looking in the grass and everything. And if he's walking around moving and can see a tick on the ground, he's got pretty good eyesight. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah. That's good to know. I would have never thought that the turkey saw better than the deer, but it makes sense because birds have great eyesight and turkeys are birds.
Yeah.
I wonder if he can see the no-see-ums. That would be.
That's a tough one.
Hey, let me ask you something. You do know that the turkey was the top runner for the national bird back when they were trying to pick one out, right?
Yes, yeah.
And they didn't want to make it the national bird because then they said, well, we wouldn't be able to eat and that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But But anyway.
Huh? That's good stuff. I appreciate it. I was going to talk about Shohei, but I'd much rather talk about this whole turkey thing because it's just much more interesting to me.
It is.
That's good stuff. We will definitely reach out, Rob, because we got to get Jay on a turkey trip. There is no doubt about it. And it sounds like we've only got, 5 days left to make that happen.
No, it's only been open about 2 weeks here. So,
okay.
Like I said, it just depends on, and it might be just in this region that it's only been open, but I think you got about 3 more weeks left, 3 more weekends.
Okay.
There's one coming up, and then 2 more weekends.
There you go. Yeah, it looks like, it runs through, specifically, it said 2024 Spring Circuit season south of State Road 70 opens March 2nd and runs through April 2nd on lands outside of the WMA system. North of State Road 70, the 2024 spring season opens March 16th and runs through April 21st. So we got some time, Jay.
Yeah, so it's about the 21st then, because I think we opened up around the 16th. So we opened about 2 weeks ago.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Rob, we appreciate you as always, and keep bringing the heat with the fun facts, because we love talking about this stuff on the Inside Drive.
Gobble, all right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Absolutely. You too. Little turkey action there for...
That was decent, brother.
It's because of the wig.
It is.
It's because of the wig. Without the wig, that's not happening. There's no doubt about it.
Man, Lynn Haven Rob is so smart, bro.
I know.
Isn't he, though? Oh, my gosh.
How do they know the turkeys are colorblind?
Good question. I don't know.
The gobble. They can translate the gobble, and it tells them. So I can see.
I just like the way he's like that little head. He's like, they got a little head, but they got big eyes.
Yeah, and you got to watch out for that spur, too.
Yeah.
They'll get you.
And the rain is coming down. I can hear it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Can you shoot a turkey? Have you shot an animal before? I have not.
Yeah, squirrels and stuff back in the day.
Oh, I did shoot a chipmunk once, yeah.
Yeah.
With a pellet gun. There's no chipmunks around here.
No.
It's weird.
It is.
Tons of them in New Jersey.
It's weird.
I know. Yeah. Squirrels are down here like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 varieties, the American gray and the fox squirrel.
That is part of the rat family.
True story. Rodent family.
Yep.
Rodent family. A rat is a rat. A rodent is the family.
That's right. That's right.
Squirrels are not rats. Rats are not squirrels. But all part of the rodent family. And that seems like a great way to end our show today here on the Inside Drive. We appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully it was entertaining for you. We had so much fun today. We're going to do it again one more time tomorrow. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m. Don't forget about the race to Talladega. Braves coming up on Thursday. And, of course, your opportunity to download that free mobile app on the Google Play or Apple Store and enter Can You Feel the Magic contest, and you and some friends may be heading over to an Orlando Magic game. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow at 11.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer, number 9.
Saturday, April 27th at Bay Haven Charter Academy. In the main event, it's a tag team